On this very first episode of The Arc Today, we sit down with Doug Hess, the state advisor for People First of West Virginia. And that sound means that this is the very first episode of The Arc Today, brought to you by the Arc of the Three Rivers. You can learn more information about the Arc of the Three Rivers by visiting our website at www.arc3rivers.org or by calling our offices at 304-344-3403. My name is Tom Mullins, and I'm excited to be here on this very first episode. This podcast will bring you tips, information, activities, and news regarding those with intellectual and developmental disabilities within West Virginia. We will also be bringing content for families and those that support people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We are excited today on our very first episode to have Doug Hess. Doug is the Program and Activities Coordinator for the Arc of West Virginia. He also serves as the State Advisor for People First of West Virginia. People First is a self-advocacy program of the Arc of West Virginia. Doug, welcome to the show today.
Oh, thank you very much, Tom. Appreciate the opportunity to be on and help you launch your new program.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our main topic today is going to be talking about People First. Doug, can you tell us a little bit about what People First is?
Well, it started out in the late 60s. There was a group home in Sweden where some folks live with disabilities, and the motto there was, "We speak for them," put together by the staff. Well, the folks there said, okay, that's nice, but we would like to speak for ourselves. And so they started this self-advocacy movement where the people wanted to advocate for themselves. And then it grew to Canada and England and other places in the early 70s. And then they've had some worldwide conventions. And then around 1990, Kevin Smith, who was our previous self-advocate coordinator, went to a meeting in Tennessee, and then he brought the idea back to West Virginia, and then People First of West Virginia was launched.
I understand that People First had a very big accomplishment recently.
So last year, we just celebrated 25 years.
Doug, can you tell us what the mission statement is of People First of West Virginia?
And by speaking and acting on behalf of the rights and the responsibilities of all people with developmental disabilities.
Doug, I understand that People First of West Virginia holds meetings throughout the state of West Virginia. Can you tell me a little bit about those meetings?
We have meetings, and we encourage people with developmental disabilities statewide to meet at, we usually have meetings once a month, and we want them to run the meetings themselves. It's by and for people with disabilities. And the idea is you elect a president, vice president, treasurer, all the officers, just like any other organization. And you get together to learn about advocacy and learning to live more independently. And that independence could be simple in decision-making. What time do you get up during the day? Where do you live? Do you eat what you want to eat, or is someone telling you all of those things? Because people with developmental disabilities have the right to do just the same thing as everybody else does. But we also teach that there's responsibility. We have individuals who have a vehicle around the state, but they don't drive. But they have the responsibility to have staff that drives them around. They also have that responsibility to pay for the maintenance, pay for the tires, put gasoline in it, pay for the insurance and things like that. And that's just one example where people have the right to live and work and play and do what everyone else does, but also the same responsibility as everyone else, because self-advocates don't want any sympathy. They just want to be integrated and included in the community.
People First really helps us overcome the stigma around those with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
People just want to be people. That's why it's called People First. One of our mottos is to label jars and not people.
What are some ways that we can help overcome the stigma around those with disabilities?
So people with disabilities want to be called by their name, not by, well, that's the autistic guy over there. Now, someone may have autism, and that's okay. And whatever they want to, if someone wants to be identified in a certain way, then, that's up to them. But unless there's a reason, like you might say, now, you want to help Jim because he is blind, So make sure that he knows there's steps there. Okay, so then there's a reason to know that disability just to assist, but you wouldn't go, well, that's the blind guy over in the corner. Oh yeah, his name's Jim. So that's what self-advocacy is just teaching and people. And as the state advisor, the role of the advisor for the group is to kind of be a guide. We had a group one time wanted to do, they said, well, let's have a concert. Well, you can have a concert to raise money as a fundraiser to go do things, because it's not all about education. It's getting together, going to the movies, going on a trip and things. But someone needs to help guide and say, okay, what does it cost to rent the building? Are you going to have a live band? Who's going to pay for the band? Do you have enough money up front? What if you don't make enough money from your fundraiser to pay for all those things? So you have the responsibility to make sure that all of those logistics are worked out. And so the role of the advisor is to kind of sit back and help guide the meeting. We've got some trainings online. Melissa Southall is our self-advocate coordinator, and we do some online trainings like how to run a meeting. Someone may want to be the president, never been on a board or committee, doesn't know what the role of the president is, doesn't even know what Robert's Rules of Order are. And many people without disabilities will go to a city council meeting and, well, how come we can't speak now? Well, that's because that's
Sure.
not what the agenda says. So we teach people because we want people to learn those things so they can go be on boards and committees and do just what everyone else does.
I know you can visit People First website at www.peoplefirstwv.org. But Doug, where else can you find more information?
We also have a Facebook page where we keep everybody up to date on what's going on around the state, different stories about what's going on, but we post current events. There's should be a posting there very soon, if not already, because we encourage people. We just started a new People First group, or we didn't. The self-advocates over in the Eastern Panhandle are starting a group, and so their meeting is coming up. There'll be another meeting coming soon for People First of Charleston, and so we'll put that flyer up there. And then when it comes time to register for our conference, that information will be on there, and that's how people can get up-to-date immediate information. We also send out a newsletter to people, whether they have disabilities or they don't, around the state, monthly, that keeps people updated on what's going on. And then one of the other things that we encourage people to do is go to once a month on the second Thursday of the month at 10 in the morning and 4 in the afternoon, where we do a teleconference. And so if people do have transportation issues and they can't get to a particular local People First meeting, while we encourage them to do that, if they can't, they can call in either at 10 or at 4. We have an 800 number, and we post that information. And then you can also be involved and find out what's going on and make sure your voice is heard. We've got some folks over in the Eastern Panhandle who have called while we've been working on getting a group started there, and they call and are able to participate. So we just invite people to, if you or know somebody who has a developmental disability and would like a group to join of other folks who want to advocate for change, to be able to live independently, learn how to live independently, learn how to be better in your community, and learn how to be part. We don't want people to just live in their house and be, well, that's the guy down the street with a disability, and, we don't really talk to him. And, well, why not? We want people to be included in the community just like everybody else.
Maybe I'm in an area that is not served by a group yet. How would one go about starting a group in their community?
Just give us a ring at the office, or email Melissa Southall. She is our self-advocate coordinator, or info@peoplefirstwv.org, and somebody will get back to you, and we'd be happy to bring People First to wherever you are.
Doug, thank you so much for being on the show today. We hope to have you back sometime before the conference in September so that you can talk about that to our audience. And thank you for listening to today's The Arc Today. Brought to you by the Ark of the Three Rivers. For more information, visit the Ark of the Three Rivers at www.ark3rivers.org or on Facebook at Ark of the Three Rivers. Thank you for listening today and have a great day.